Good afternoon, financial professionals. My name is Jennifer Nadeau, case design specialist here at E4 Insurance Services, welcoming you to The Brew, building relationships every week. Thank you for tuning in today. For those of you joining The Brew for the first time, we like to start the Brewcast by celebrating what today's national day is. And this isn't a national day, but I'm sure happy it's the first day of March today. So I think that means that spring is right around the corner. It's also National Minnesota Day. So hello to our friends in Minnesota. It's National Pig Day, which of course, some may think of bacon, but it was also suggested to me with National Pig Day. What about the world's most famous pig, Wilbur from Charlotte's Web? And last but not least, I love this one. It is National Peanut Butter Lovers Day. And who doesn't love some peanut butter? On today's brew, we welcome Symetra's Director of Advanced Markets, Doug Bowden. Doug will be sharing with us how to tap into today's growing market by sharing the ins and outs of Symetra's MultiLife business plan. As always, please feel free to use the chat box to share your thoughts or ask questions. And as always, all attendees are in a drawing for a prize, and we will announce the winner at the end. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. And hello, Doug. Welcome. Welcome back to The Brew. It's been a while.
Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're very happy to have you join us today. And I had mentioned that you're going to talk about Symetra's MultiLife business program, but it's pretty exciting to have you on. One of the areas of business that's growing in a lot of people's business, I know I certainly see it here at E4, is the growth in executive benefits, specifically cash benefits, to retain and reward talent, as well as cost recovery. So we sure are happy to have you on today to talk about that and also segue into Symetra's MultiLife business program. So I'll hand the call over to you. I know you're going to set the stage before getting into the MultiLife business program, but again, welcome, Doug.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. And glad everybody could join us today. So when we talk about creating opportunities, and obviously the title slide here, that the key phrases are reward and retain, especially in today's environment. The topic is not only popular, but it's becoming even more popular as we go through these interesting financial times with the, I guess, the workforce, the unemployment rate, hard to find people, don't want to lose people. So those R's in there really come around to non-qualified planning, if you will, and in there, you have complicated, more sophisticated style of planning, true deferrals and SERP plans and salary continuation style plans that require a little extra work and do have a little more complexity. But more of the types of plans that we're going to talk about are really plans that are a little lower on the complication scale, such as split dollar arrangements, where we're really just looking at golden handcuffs, cost recovery. And in these types of designs, you have that ultimate flexibility of an economic benefit regime where you can have the employer own the policy and an endorsement split dollar arrangement, a little more control there. And of course, they can decide what to do with the policy after termination or retirement of that individual in there. Or we could talk about non-equity collateral assignment, where we're just looking at death benefit protection under the economic benefit regime. So maybe our funding is a little more minimal because we're just looking at death benefit protection. But if we want that cash value buildup in there, one of the hottest topics over the past year or two has really been loan regime split dollar, or 7872, if you want to sound really sophisticated, within there, where we have that death benefit protection and we can build up supplemental income. And all we're doing is creating that funding mechanism with individual ownership of the policy or even trust ownership of the policy within this design. And when it comes down to it, what are we creating? We're creating a supplemental income plan, or maybe even a LERP design, whatever street phrase you want to use to do that. But these are just some of the funding vehicles that we use. And we can also use bonus arrangements, which are individually owned policies where the employer isn't so concerned about cost recovery. Maybe they're more concerned about getting a immediate tax savings based on those bonus amounts distributed each year in a bonus arrangement. We have that death benefit protection, but again, it's easy to put into place. It's easy to service. It's easy to administer within there. And of course, you can add some more controls by doing a restrictive bonus arrangement within there. So why am I sitting here saying, Doug, out of everything that's going on here, why are we talking about these? Well, a lot of these plans, split dollar arrangements, bonus arrangements, are individually owned in a sense. And what we can do is help create that opportunity with an employer, whether it's a small employer, medium-sized employer, where we can get into the discussion of guaranteed issue, which is our MultiLife platform, where we can have employer-owned policies or individually owned policies, or even trust-owned if that's the case for a particular individual to do that.
Great. And then thank you for setting the stage for that. Definitely good to have kind of that overview. Split dollar is definitely a hot topic, loan regime split dollar. I see that you have the MultiLife business program slide up. I know we're going to dive into the program now, and I'm interested in hearing, and I know you're going to do this, but expanding on what the program is and specifically how it can benefit us within these types of designs.
Yeah. So when we think of guaranteed issue or MultiLife, we think of big corporations and hundreds of lives, even thousands of lives, or we think of the COLI world, corporate-owned life insurance world, where they're doing a guaranteed issue arrangement with life policies to fund, informally fund deferred compensation arrangements, key person coverage, any of those designs. But with our program in this MultiLife, we get true guaranteed issue rates, and we need a minimum of 10 lives. Don't focus on the details of the maximum number of lives because we're flexible with that, but it's just our strike zone is really around 20 to 50 lives. That's the perfect strike zone because we have a retail IUL product, accumulation ascent IUL product with specific guaranteed issue pricing in here. And we're just looking for an age range from 20 to 70 within a particular group. And this is really important when I say this, the minimum income amount, 75,000, because we are looking for management professionals or white collar positions and an employer-employee relationship here to do this. And again, don't get into the weeds. Let us help you with a case if you have a potential case to do this. So that 75,000 of annual income, for example, if it's a bonus arrangement, okay, and somebody is at 70,000 and they're going to get a $5,000 bonus, I'm just using it to keep it simple, we would consider that income as 75,000 annually to get this. So we can get some of those folks up to that 75,000 mark. So we're pretty lenient there to do that. And we're just looking for the funding to come from the employer side of the house. So that's where the employer-employee relationship comes in to do that.
Excellent. I do see that you have some program exclusions here. A question that I have, and for viewers that are on today, we've had the past 2 weeks, we had some sessions on premium finance. So if anyone's interested, go back to our library and take a look at that. I'm curious to know if premium finance is also permitted on this platform as well.
Absolutely. Great question. So we allow premium financing for MultiLife cases. And what we do is we just review it the exact same way we review an individual life case. So we have our review process. We collect the same documents we do for a regular premium, typical individual premium financing case. And then the financials and the tax returns are just based on the business as opposed to an individual because they're going to be the borrower. in there. So not an issue to do premium financing.
Okay, thank you. I think I kind of got you out of your order of your slides, so I
No, there's
apologize.
no order
Carry on.
whatsoever. Compliance makes me scan the exclusions up there. But
Right.
they're in the brochure, so it's easy to see what the
Okay,
exclusions are. They're pretty straightforward.
good enough. Yeah.
Just remember employer-employee relationship. There you go. And that gets you in there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Perfect. What about the is there an application process, specific forms? Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yep, yep, sure. So for the underwriting process here, it is guaranteed issue. So there's only 3 questions on the application, which you can see on the screen. The first one was carefully drafted because it says the word 3 several times in there. But basically, it's just, has anybody been hospitalized or absent due to an illness, for whatever period of time there? And are you actively at work full time? So we're looking for, 30 hours or more at work
Mhm.
full time. And are you a tobacco user? Yes or no? But if you answered yes to number 1, okay, and you answered yes to number 2, right? You are fully engaged at work. You could just, I don't know, it could have been something minor for a hospitalization. It could have been an illness. It could have been the flu. It could have been whatever. I'm not going to use that C word that everybody uses, but the in there. But an underwriter could quickly review it, and we can determine whether they just stay in the group or not. So fear not. There are ways to get around if it's very minor, whatever it is,
Sure,
to do that. Yeah.
that's
So
good to know. So birth of a baby or something, it's subjective, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely.
Perfect. Great.
Within there. So for our case review process, that was the application with the 3 questions. So, where Brad's on the call, he's very engaged in these cases, as his internal sales team is also, and so am I, to do that. And so we have on our website, we have a submission form, which helps us gather all the information we need, along with a census, uh, to do our initial review process. So once we have that, then we can do what we call the offer letter, which is good for 30 days. And fear not, because these cases sometimes take longer than 30 days, we can renew the offer letter. So it's not like it's one and done
Okay.
to do that. So it's pretty straightforward. Once we have that offer letter out, then those applications, boom, can come in and the case can be processed here at Symetra.
Perfect. Great. Before we open it up for questions, Doug, any final comments? We're kind of tight on time. If you had any quick success stories, I also don't want to cut you off with any other pertinent facts about the
Oh,
program.
no, 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 it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. So yeah, I have this slide up on the screen. So obviously any types of these designs will easily fit in the MultiLife program for us. So it opens up those avenues of discussion in there. And I would also say that, if you don't have 10 lives, or maybe you start with 10 lives, but now all of a sudden you're down to 4 because of key people, salaries, whatever it is. Don't forget we have our accelerated underwriting program, up
Yes.
to 3 million of death benefit. And of course, if it's just the owner of the business, any one of these concepts could easily just self-insure that individual life fully underwritten. So lots of doors and opportunities. As far as success stories, real quick, we're seeing a fair amount of activity with law firms. Partners are required to carry X amount of insurance for key person slash buyout purposes in there. So junior partners, senior partners, different levels. We've had really large size cases. We've had small size cases with those that are out there. We've had hospitals where hospitals are setting up split dollar arrangements with physicians that are all making $400,000 or $500,000 a year. And it's not unusual to have a regional size hospital with 25 physicians to participate in a 78-72 split dollar arrangement, whether it's a nonprofit or a profit hospital. Those are terrific designs for them, because what do we do at the end? It all comes out to be a alert, does it not, or a
Right.
supplemental income plan
Right.
to do that. So lots of those designs, and of course, key person coverage is pretty straightforward within there. So those are some of the quick hits that I can throw out without taking up too much time.
No, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for the
Mhm.
information. Really good to have you on. And showcase and spotlight the MultiLife program that your firm has to offer. You guys are great partners, and we're really happy to have you on today. Let's open it up for questions. I'll remind everyone that you can either use the chat box or certainly unmute your line to ask a question if you'd like. And while we're waiting to see if there's any final questions, I'd like to remind you that today's brew and our full library are recorded and shared on the Brew blog on our website at www.e4.insurance. And it's time for our giveaway now, too. Doug, I'm going to ask you to do the honors. If you could pick a number between 1 and 25.
21.
Number 21. The winner is, hold on here. Oh, Marissa, and I'm going to say your last name, Marissa, incorrectly. I'm sorry. I believe it's Tujong. I know you. Congratulations, Marissa. You are our winner today. Be on the lookout for a complimentary CE voucher and Starbucks gift card that will be coming your way from all of us here at E4 Insurance Services.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So happy you were able to join today, too. I'm looking at the chat box for questions right now. Again, feel free to unmute your line as well if you have a question.
Not all at once.
I am not seeing any right now. So again, Doug, really happy to have you on today. It was a pleasure. Great information, as always.
Thanks,
Thanks
Frank.
for joining us. Thanks. Everyone, join us next week as we welcome Abacus Life's Director of Sales, Stuart Little. Stuart will share with attendees the massive benefits of offering life settlements to your client base. Abacus has paid hundreds of millions of dollars to policyholders and insurance advisors in exchange for their unwanted policies. So, interesting topic we'll have next week. Join us as Stuart shares with us target audience, policy types, and how to utilize Abacus's simple tools to find the true fair market value of your client's policies. So we look forward to having Stuart on next week. Thanks again, Doug, for joining. Thank you, everyone who tuned in today. Congratulations, Marissa. And we will see everyone next week on The Brew. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks.